Right now, the goal we're working towards is to allow promoters to add concerts as drafts and edit them and make any changes to them before they ultimately go and publish that concert and make it go live in sort of a separate step. As you might recall, right now, whenever we create a new concert using the store method on the concerts controller, we automatically go and publish that concert immediately. So all newly created concerts are immediately published. Now, before we go ahead and make any changes to this flow and defaults to not publishing concerts when they're created, I think what we should do is work on building out the ability for promoters to edit unpublished concerts and go ahead and publish those and do all that behind the scenes. The reason I think this is a good idea is because it allows us to sort of build that in secret and then go ahead and flip the switch, setting it up so that concerts are not published by default when they're newly created, and then all the code and functionality for promoters to edit those concerts and publish them after the fact will all be already there waiting for them as soon as we go ahead and make this change. So again, I think the thing that we should be working on next is giving promoters the ability to edit any concerts that haven't yet been published. So behind the scenes, I've added a few basic tests and a little bit of functionality that I want to go over quickly. So I have a new edit concert test that's in our feature backstage folder, and there's a handful of tests in here. So let's walk through them quickly. So here we've got a test that tests that promoters can view the edit form for their own unpublished concerts. So the way this works is we go ahead and we create a new user, we create a concert for that user, but we make sure that the concert is not published. So we have a pre-assertion here to verify, no, the concert is not published. Then when we go ahead and, acting as that user, try to make a request to this URL, which displays an edit form for that concert, we get back a 200, and we verify that the concert that was passed to the view is the same concert that we went ahead and created in the test. Pretty basic stuff. Now down here, we have another test verifying that promoters cannot view the edit form for their own published concerts. So once a concert has been marked as published, it's no longer editable. So similarly, we create a user, we create a concert, but this time we put it in a published state. And then before doing anything, we do in fact verify, yes, this concert is for sure published. Then acting as that user, we again try to view the edit form and then verify that we do get a 403 forbidden response. So trying to edit a concert that's published is not allowed, so we send back a forbidden HTTP status. Next, we have a test that proves that promoters cannot view the edit form for other concerts, so concerts that were created by other promoters. So we create two promoters this time, or two users, and we make a concert that belongs to the second one. Then acting as the first user, we try to view the edit form for that concert and verify that we get a 404, a not found. And this is useful because it doesn't leak information to the end user about whether or not this concert exists. Down here, we have another test that says promoters see a 404 when attempting to view the edit form for a concert that does not exist. So if you're logged in as a promoter and you try to view a concert that doesn't exist at all, you get a 404, like you might expect, since that page doesn't exist. A very straightforward test there. Here we've got guests are asked to log in when attempting to view the edit form for any concert. So anytime a guest tries to hit the URL for editing an existing concert, they're redirected to log in. And we have another test that proves that guests are asked to log in even when the concert doesn't exist. So again, this is in the interest of not leaking information about whether or not a concert exists. So if a guest tries to view a concert that does exist, they get a login redirect. And if they try to view a concert that doesn't exist, they also get a redirect back to the login page. Some people might make this a 404, right? Because this page doesn't actually exist. I don't think that's the right approach, because then someone who's not logged in can tell whether or not a concert exists in the system based on whether they're asked to log in or whether they get a 404. So doing it this way and being consistent in both cases makes sure that we don't leak any information out of our system. Let's go over to the routes file and see what we have there. So down at the bottom of this routes file, we have a GET request to the edit concerts URL, which hits the edit method on the concerts controller, and we give it a name so it's easy for us to link to. And if we go ahead and look at the concerts controller edit method, it's pretty simple too. We get the ID for the concert coming in through the route parameters. We look for that concert scoped to the list of concerts that belong to the current user. If the concert is published, we abort with a 403 status code. Otherwise, we go ahead and return the Backstage Concerts Edit view, passing along the concert that we retrieved. And if we go ahead and head over to the browser, you can see that that just looks like this. It's very similar to our Add Concert form, except it's pre-populated with data from the concert. So the next thing that I want to work on is driving out the patch request that we're going to submit to go ahead and actually update the concert details.